Hello, welcome to this afternoon's writing sprints. Ugh, I'm just so pleased with the intro that I made. It just makes me happy every time when I get it right. But anyway, how are you guys this afternoon? I have to confess, I'm woefully unprepared for this live stream. But that's okay because we're gonna write, we're gonna be productive, and it's fine. Hello, Lady Neo. Nice to see you. You were first. Congratulations. Hello, Steek. Hello, Cool Gamer. Hi, Katie. Um, Hi, Patty. I noticed you mentioned something about shedding. Not sure what that means. I'm going to have to assume it has something to do with Wi-Fi, but I'm glad you're here. And yes, so many friends here. This is going to be a good stream. I can feel it. Hello, Some Deep Mystery. I got your name confused with some other username earlier. I think you're Wendy, but there's also some other S username that is like a few words long. So if you're not Wendy, I'm sorry that I got you confused with Wendy, but I think you're Wendy. How is everyone doing today? I am a little, I guess, like, I am a little high energy today because I've been stuck in my room doing like work things today, just figuring out a new work task that I've been assigned. And it's been like not much progress has been made. So like I'm like itching to actually get progress done today. So that's how I'm feeling today. And just so many thoughts around in my head because I'm fine. I just need to take a moment. Okay, I'm good. Today I'm going to be writing a little in Project Faye. I almost said Project Popstar, but that's for later. I'm writing Project Faye. If you guys don't know what Project Faye is, it is the project I've been working on instead of doing my query research like I should be. But you know, sometimes you have to reward yourself. And my reward for finishing the Seaside Proofread was getting to work on Project Faye. So far, I have, let me check my document. The outline is around 5,000 words. So that's like, you know, a good, decent outline. For chapter 1 that I've started, I have in total, just checking my word count here, 1,500 words. So like, you know, a good start, good amount of writing for 2 days. I haven't been able to devote a huge amount of time to my writing because, you know, like school, work stuff, other things like, you know, other commitments. But I'm looking forward to getting some more work done on it today and writing more into chapter 1. I have a lot of feelings about suddenly writing in a new genre, but I'm sure I can get into that later between sprints. You are Wendy? Great. Awesome. I'm glad I remembered. Lady Neo's eating sushi. Oh, I do have to admit, I haven't had sushi since last stream. And the desire has only grown to have sushi. So I'm living vicariously through you. It's like a reward. Hi, Grape. Nice to see you. So if you haven't been here to my streams before, we do a 15-minute sprint. Oh, I don't remember if I updated the description or not. But in case I didn't, we do a 15-minute sprint, a 25-minute sprint, a 35, and then at the end, we have a random sprint determined by a unique method that will be revealed at the end of the live stream. It could be anywhere from 4 minutes to 52 minutes. So it's like really runs the gambit. So we'll see what we get when we get there. I have not eaten lunch today. So that is what I will be doing during the first 15-minute sprint. Let me know what you guys are working on or hoping to work on for this stream. Feel free to use this first sprint to get yourself some coffee. I don't know what time of day it is for you. Or you can have a snack, do some stretching, get your water, get prepared to write, because we will definitely have more like bulky sprints later on in the stream. And while I'm waiting on your feedback, your delicious answers, let me share my screen. Yes. I had to re-teach myself how to do this every time, but that's okay. Sponsored by The Last of Us today. I haven't. Have you guys seen The Last of Us? I don't think I will, because I've heard about how emotionally affecting, damaging, scarring it is. So I don't think I'm gonna watch it. But today we have an ad for The Last of Us. Steeg is working on a summary. Oh, a summary for what? I'm sorry if you mentioned this earlier today on the Trouble stream. I wasn't able to make it because I had to do actual work today. But I'll be sure to watch it later. And feel free to leave me in suspense and not tell me, and I have to watch the stream. Katie's gonna be organizing a Pinterest board because procrastination. I love it. No, but that's like productive procrastination. You're fine. And also establishing aesthetics is very important if you're like a visual storyteller and thinker. 7 p.m. for Steeg. I'll have to work in a few hours though. Oh, I didn't know you worked the night shift. Coffee's smart. Okay, then get your coffee. Wendy, during Wendy's sprints, will have to run to the store. Probably depending on how far away the store is, I'd recommend either the 25 or the 35. Unless you want to just get it out of the way, then you'll probably be done by the time we're in a different sprint and you want to do more writing. Up to you. Steeg is very excited to see Last of Us. Love the actor's story, sounds good. And it's also gay. Oh, I didn't know this. Which we have to stand. I could be swayed. I just know, I see people on Instagram reacting to it, or just on their stories, or in I guess that's where I've seen it. But people are just so crying and they're emotionally affected, and they're like what is this episode 4? And I'm like, maybe don't watch it. I don't know. I have opinions about shows that use trauma and death for shock value, but I don't really know. I haven't seen the show. It's just I know it's a video game, and I know the video game is very gritty and dystopian, so that's why I feel like it would have some death in it. Lady Neo is still working on chapter 13. Yes, I remember you have been working on this project for quite some time, but it's great that you're still working on it. Grape's eating breakfast right now. Do you mean your first meal of the day or breakfast? I guess I don't really know what time zone you're in, but I just assumed you were in Eastern. I don't really know. You'll be reading your project and taking notes. Very good. Yes, Pinterest boards are one of the most productive ways to procrastinate. Okay, so it's the novel summary, and you're doing that before you start the rewrite of Project Stick Right, 5 pages of a project. Lovely. Leading News word total right now is 1,841 words. That's pretty good. Okay, Sig doesn't normally work the night shift, but it's an extra shift. Okay. Hello, Easy Garden. Glad you're here to write with us. Essie spent the morning writing a book review of Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kusanar. So I'm going to be reading Jade City by Hey, wasn't M from Pages and Paladins also reading this book? Is there there's a book club with that happening, right? Love to cry. The Pisces in me can relate. But when I cry, it is exclusively, and when I cry to media, any kind of things, is exclusively to Taylor Swift, or I don't really cry to sad things. I cry more to moments that are a culmination of every moment that has come before it, the realization, or the emotional crux. That's when I will cry in the show. I think Pedro Pascal from context is in The Last of Us. Oh, it's zombies too. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I tried to watch The Walking Dead. I couldn't. It's too gory, too bloody, like, and it's emotionally devastating, right? Like, uh, oh, okay, and it's a lot of death. See, maybe I just don't need to watch it. I just can just learn about how bad it is from other people. Um, oh, you're having an omelet. Mm. I haven't made an omelet in a really long time. I'm gonna be making some microwavable rice from Trader Joe's for lunch. Um, okay, this is about Jade City. Oh, the live stream is tonight at 5? I can't read it before then. I have added it to my TBR since I saw like mention it on the Pages and Paladin stream. But you know, I have added it to my TBR. Uh, yes, please report back and let me know how much zombie is in it and if it's like I can't watch it if it's gory or bloody. I can watch it if there's death, but like if it's like blood and like I'm just thinking of Game of Thrones that I couldn't do that either. I couldn't do like American Gods, even the first episode, just like it was too much. So yeah, those are my feelings on gore and guts. I know y'all were wanting my take on that. Anyway, it has been like a whole 13 minutes and we haven't sprinted yet. So, and I'm also really hungry. So that's the main motivation for why I want to get into this sprint. So let me pull up my timer. And as a reminder, my sound for the ending of this timer is a bird song. So this is what it sounds like. I might have to adjust the volume. Okay, I'm going to adjust the volume. It's too loud. It sounds like this. Okay, that's enough. Stop. That's enough. That's what it sounds like. So if you hear birds in 15 minutes, it's me. And don't panic. Okay. Have your nice 15 minutes of whatever you need to do. I'm going to go eat lunch. See you guys later in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, friends. That was the end of our first 15-minute sprint. How did you all do? It was just enough time for me to eat lunch and write a single sentence. And it's not even a good sentence, but that's okay. That's what editing is for. Ooh, I think it's finally time to talk about Project Faye just a little bit. Emma came by for a minute, but thank you for hitting the like button. Hold on. The comments jumped. Hi, Laura. Hello. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm sorry I did that. Hi, Nicole. Nicole got back with groceries and put them away. Did I just say Nicole? Laura got back with groceries and put them away. Stick got some summary writing done. Very good. Neo got 200 words. Also fantastic. Just for fun, I'm going to read you the sentence I just wrote. It's not good yet, but I mean to say it's vague. It's not it doesn't have any flavor yet. It says, Myra watched as Honor was greeted by her patron, comma, feeling very well that she had made a friend. That's what I got for right now. Wendy put a load of laundry in and got breakfast. Very good. Ooh, I wonder what time zone you're in. It's so it's wild to think that we're all in different places. Yeah, we're all here at the same time. Some of us not even in the North American continent. Wild. Anyway, so I guess my progress for that sprint was, what is that? 18 words. 18 words. I have a lot of feelings about Project Faye versus Seaside, which is the Lighthouse YA book that I was writing. And just, I was worried a little before I started Project Faye, which is a Faye fantasy. It's gonna have romance in it, but it's not strictly a romance book. I was worried before I started writing it that my fantasy voice wouldn't appear on the page, it wouldn't manifest, and that it was going to be very difficult for me. But it did. When I wrote it, I couldn't believe I had this other mode of storytelling just in me somehow. Does that make sense? I've been writing this YA contemporary book, Seaside, for the past almost 2.5 years, and it's very colloquial, contemporary, and the voice is very uses a lot of modern phrases. But when I'm writing this Faye book, and maybe it's because I studied my main character Myra so well, but it's I'm not even in the same. It's I'm not even the same author. The prose that is just being produced by my head as I'm writing this is not even maybe it's because I've improved as a writer over the past 2 years, and I've just been absorbing fantasy, the way to write that and the tone, but it's night and day, and I can't tell whether to be alarmed or impressed with myself. Maybe a little bit of both. But it's wild. Has anyone else ever experienced this kind of phenomenon? I've never done this before. I've never written fantasy, and it's really thrown me for a loop and shaken my identity as a writer. I'm what? And I even wrote a fantasy project for Camp Nano 2021, but I was not having these feelings. I was not having these feelings of wow, this is a fantasy tone story. Like, and I don't know. I don't have any more words. It's just how it is. Katie says such a mood feels different writing romance versus high fantasy. Isn't it? Like, this is so strange to me, but that, like, I can write YA contemporary, but also I can write this. It's not medieval, but it's like the voice is different. It's just, I thought I only had one voice. That's not true. Wendy's in Pacific time zone. Anybody else writing more than one genre, or do you guys normally tend to stick in the genre you're in? Because honestly, if you haven't tried writing in a different genre than the one you're used to, I highly recommend it, just so you can have this feeling of like, what? Like, oh, I did not know I could do this. Yes, it is very, I need to make a video about this, honestly. Like, how maybe I need to argue that, like, there is no one voice an author has. Like, and authors have more than one voice, depending on what they're writing. And, maybe, like, every book you write always has, like, a different voice. Like, it's somehow different because you're filtering it through different characters. Anyway, I don't know when I'm getting off this soapbox, but now might be the exit. But if I start ranting about it again, my sentence ends there. I don't have a follow-up to that sentence. Stick feels like he has zero voice. No, I'm sure you have a voice. Even if you're writing in like brackets for now, you definitely have a voice. Neo is getting used to typing out characters without writing in a paper notebook first. I see. So you've been handwriting for a while. Well, then you might even find that you have a different voice while handwriting versus typing. Like, I know when I'm handwriting, I get, it's more like loose. It's less detail based. It's more like just concept, get it out. But when I like type it, because I can edit it very easily by just deleting, it changes for me. Nicole tends to write fantasy and romance, but they have a couple of sci-fi projects lined up. Well, report back when you try to write those sci-fi books. Let me know if you have this feeling. After outlining, Nia will type it up. Gotcha. Oh, so you're a plotter. Are you? Do you identify with plotting? Wendy writes multiple genres, but I think my voice changed with this historical romance. Yeah, maybe the way I'm writing this fantasy, it is like historical in the past, but it's not like on Earth. So I guess that is also like a jump. I'm writing like a I don't know. It's historical in that it's set behind the modern day of like there's no phones, there's no like cars, no guns yet. So yeah, I guess it is just modern to historical language, but also this character's so different. And there are different like social conventions in this world. It's wild. For historical romance, the character's speech patterns are different, and that bleeds into everything. Yeah, like my main character is suddenly using like such big brain dictionary words that like my previous main characters in Seaside would not do, and I don't know where this is coming from. Like, is she an intellectual? I don't know. It's just like the way her voice is coming out is she's kind of like, I toned it down a little bit because I realized I was leaning into that too much, but she's very she's just very different. It's very different to write in her perspective, and like suddenly to write these new how people would interact with each other in the past. Like in the beginning scene is there are a bunch of people in a carriage, and our main character is one of them, and there are a couple across from her, and there's a person sitting beside her, and the way like she is observing this couple and the way she's talking to the person beside her is just it's a completely different way. I don't know, just it's just different. My thoughts head empty. It kind of makes me want to get back into writing it right now. So maybe we should start our second writing sprint. Yeah? What do you guys think? If no one has any further topics to bring up, I will take a breath and pull up our timer for the second writing sprint. One moment, let me change this and reset this timer. Again, reminder, my sprint sound is birds. Katie says it's almost like we have a subconscious understanding of what a genre needs, such what the style is. Yes. This. I think you've written what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. I think just by reading you absorb genre conventions, and yeah. It's just a realization of like I didn't know I knew how to do that. I think that's what's so surreal and wild about this experience to me. People in a Carriage reminds Laura of the opening of The Hateful Eight. Oh, I haven't read/watched The Hateful Eight. I'm not sure what genre or format this story is available in. I'm as I keep thinking about this book, this Project Fae that I'm writing, I'm comping it to Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. And I've never started this early with a comp title, but the more I keep writing it, the more I'm like, Sorcery of Thorns, because that opens with a carriage as well, and is also kind of thematically related to things that are in Project Fae. But I'm not going to speak any more about it right now because we have a second sprint to do. I have heard. I think I did know this. I just forgot that. Yeah, Hateful Eight is Tarantino movie. Let me share my screen for the second time, and we will have our second writing sprint. I'm gonna get right in. Right into my. I'm so excited to write this book. I have like the excited energy, and so I need to honor that and actually write this sprint. But also, I'm really excited about it. Anyway, you read Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson, and it's Fae related. I have read Enchantment of Ravens. I think it's really good. I think I gave it like 4 stars. I was really into it. Maybe when I do a comp, I'll just have to say all Margaret Rogerson because really it kind of is combining elements of man. Now I'm thinking about it. Like, did I accidentally just like combine them? No, I mean I don't think so. I'll have to. Thanks, Katie. I have to think about it. No, but they're definitely different. But like it's kind of like a mesh between Enchantment of Ravens and Sorcery of Thorns. Wow. You know what? I didn't do it on purpose, and I'm just gonna say that like it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine to take inspiration from books when you didn't know you were doing that. But it's fine. It's gonna be my book, not Margaret Rogerson's book. Yeah. So read Sorcery of Thorns, and then you'll like get the other half of the book I'm trying to write. I do hope it will be very give up by the time of writing and revising. And my face is all red, guys. Like, we gotta sprint. Okay, okay, time to sprint. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that was the end of the second writing sprint. Let me change that banner. I was really arguing with that timer when it went off because I wasn't ready. Wasn't ready to end it there. And then I turned caps lock on and I had to just finish my sentence. But I did. I guess I can also read you guys the last line I was working on that time, since I'm doing that this stream. Hold on. I had a train of thought. I've lost it. And notice Ivan came. That's perfectly fine. Yes, happy to have you join us for today. Neo got about 200 more words, but you finished chapter 13. Great, excellent. So I was working on the next part of the scene, as you do, and let me measure it. What did I say? What it was in the beginning? I said it was around 1,500 words. I'm guessing I have 1,800, but I'm gonna check the accurate word count as soon as I finish this sentence. Okay, so the word count is now 1,921. So like around 400, maybe 400, like exactly words that round. So that's great. It doesn't feel like I wrote 400 words, but wow, it's just the story is just going. I am not used to drafting. Haven't drafted in a while, and I am both frustrated with how slow it is and how like you can write for 15 minutes and you'd be like, oh my god, I wrote so much. Like I must have written like 500 words, and you look and it's 203 and you're like, oh. So yeah, I'm both like upset that drafting is really slow. And I guess I just forgot because I haven't drafted in like forever. But also kind of impressed about how much I can get done in an hour. Like the story's in my head, but it's gonna take like forever to get it written down. And like how do y'all do this? How do y'all switch to different work in progresses? I just like the amount of time it takes to write a novel, just like I don't know how many hours it takes. So let's assume it takes 1 hour to write 1,000 words. And if you're writing a 70,000 word book, which is like, a decent first draft, that will take you 70 hours. And that's a really freaking long time. And switching to another work in progress in the middle of that means like you have to like reset and start over. And then like, just drafting takes forever. I don't know why I wasn't aware of this, but I've now remembered this fact, and I have beef with it. Nicole wrote 82 new words, then copy pasted 724 old words on a Wattpad. Counting those for Millworthy, very good. But also, that means you are revising in some manner. Let me know. Katie's almost finished moving all the pins into the correct folders. Great. Hello, Violet. I don't know if you introduced yourself today, but hello. You're doing Duolingo when Sprint ended. And you were like, WTF is bird sound? That's not French. Yes, I am my sprints of the bird sound. Yes. There's going to be, you came to us in the middle of the second sprint. There will be 2 more sprints. One is going to be 35 minutes, guaranteed. The other one is a random number. So we will see when the time comes for that. So yes, right now, frustrated with drafting. Also, I now that this chapter is proceeding, I'm kind of in like I'm kind of coming down off the high of like, oh, this story is like the best thing I've ever written. Because now you're getting into like the middle parts of the chapter, and you're like, oh, this does not sound good. Like, this is a first draft, and like I am not describing this in the way that I want to be describing it. But nevertheless, I have to move on. I have to keep writing. I just think I was trying to like. She is my main character is currently in the carriage. She actually has gotten out of the carriage now, and now becomes the point where she has to transition from carriage to the next setting, and that is like the boring part to write. And it's also like a lot of like moving parts. So I gotta just like write it, and it doesn't sound great right now, but you know what? That's what editing is for. I'm excited to write the rest of this chapter. It's just the middle parts of the chapter. I'm like, Anyway, Myra's about to meet some new people in this scene. Oh, I told you I'd read the last sentence I just wrote. The last sentence I wrote was, well, it's kind of two sentences. Well, no, I'll just read you the last sentence. The sharp lines of his lips and ears, comma, but there was a softness to his expression that implied he wasn't fully Fae. Yes, it's a Fae. It's a Fae story. You gotta have Fae in the first chapter. No, that's not the love interest. It's just a random guy. We won't be meeting our love interest until maybe like chapters like 3 or 4. Chapter 1, you will meet a character that is relevant. There's 2 love interests. You will meet one of them in chapter 1, like in the end, chapter 1. But what the reader's not going to know that who it is. The reader's not aware that this is a love interest yet. So there's 2 of them. First one you meet in chapter 1, and the second one will be in some later chapter. I've only like fully seen outlined the first chapter. Other than that, we're just rolling with it. So yeah, that's what I did during that sprint. Got around 400 words. Introduced a character who is Fae, but not really important. Yep, that's what I did. I feel like I should be asking you guys a question. So maybe I can think of a question. Nicole is adding missing pieces to the work in progress that you are working on. Questions. I don't know, like, what do you guys want to talk about? I have realized I'm not really reading as much as I have been recently. I'm currently listening to an audiobook called Love and Other Disasters, and it is cooking show based. There's a cooking show in the book. Audiobook's really good. The book is by Anita Kelly. I'm about 7 hours the way through. It's a romance. Pretty good. But I think I told you guys about a book I was reading last stream called She Who Became the Sun. And it was like a Chinese historical fantasy, like set around like the time of the Mongolian. I know dynasty is not the right word, but around that time period. And I DNF'd it because it's just I just couldn't get through it. I got through like 21%, and then that was it just didn't grab me. I used to have this thing when I was in high school, or really I guess like my entire like reading career, but I would never DNF a book because I was like, well, I owe it to the book to like finish it. Like I started it, like and I'm also like, I don't like to leave things unfinished. That's why I was working so hard on Seaside, and I've finished it. But when is a book ever finished? I don't really know. But I like finishing things, and I like finishing them up to a point where they are like perfect in my mind. Whether that's like on a craft I'm making or a book I'm writing or like something I'm doing at work, like a homework assignment. Like I know I have this thing, I have this quality. But like recently, I've been trying to lean into the fact that I don't have to finish every book I start. I think I've definitely gotten better about it ever since I started tracking the books that I'm reading. Um, well, I mean, it's both easier and harder to DNF a book once you start tracking it because you're like, do I count it if I read this much or do I need to make a new category? Like, it's a bit nebulous, the rules on that. But anyway, I still don't really like not finishing books because then it's the story never gets finished in my head. Like, I never know how it was going to go, and it kind of feels like a missed opportunity. Like, even if I wasn't going to like it, I still would have liked to know how the rest of it went. But, if a book just isn't good, like, I might as well just not finish it and try to read something I do like, right? So that's how I feel about it. Other books I DNF'd and felt bad about. I have it. I created one. Severance by Ling Ma. I only read like the first page of that. It didn't grab me. Space Opera, Life of Pi. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I'm not sorry about that. A Magic Steeped in Poison. I am a little sad about that. That was like a fantasy book inspired by tea. But like, I'm not sorry about the Normal People one. I didn't like it. Katie counts the books I DNF because I had to suffer through some of it, and I deserve to have that on my Goodreads. I see, but like, is there like, what is the point? Like, would you have to read more than 50% of it to count it, or like even if you read the first page, you still count it? That's what I want to know. Linda's bad at not letting myself DNF a book. Need to work on that. Well, maybe we can all work on that this year. Violet started tracking DNFs for the first time this year and doesn't count them as read. Yeah, for me, like they're just in like their own little coulda, woulda, shoulda been category. Maybe I should rename it to that. Sorry, like if you didn't know, like Taylor Swift references just like they just come out of my mouth unwarranted. So if I ever say something that seems out of context, it's probably a Taylor Swift reference. Kitty usually counts. Okay, if you get past the first chapter, the first chapter could be 5 pages, but you still count it. But you DNF all the time. Interesting. Good to know that you speak Taylor Swift. It's good to know that we're all on the same page. Like, especially if it's a physical book. I have not yet DNF'd a physical book. I only consider them as like, oh, I'll get back to it. But it's never like, oh, I didn't finish it, because they're always like, I feel like it's a commitment. Like, this is why I have trouble buying books and like keeping books and like adding them physically to like what I've got over here, because I feel like if I have it, I have to read it, or else like, what is the point of me having it? Like, it feels like an obligation, especially if I spent like $25 on this book, or maybe like $12 at a thrift store. Then I'm super like, well, maybe someone didn't read this, but like I have to read it because I bought it. So yeah, I currently have 6 books, paperbacks on my desk that are like always there, just like an option. Like, could read one of these, but like, have I picked one up? No. I'll be honest, I started Gallant. I started Gallant by V.E. Schwab. in August when I received it. No, I received it in March of this year. I got it in like a giveaway. And I am still. Where's my bookmark? Did I not? What? Did I take the book? I think I took. Okay, I think I took the bookmark out. But what does that mean, Grayson? Okay, I guess that means I need to restart when I read this one because I really want to read it, but like it was just kind of slow, and I know that a bit about the E. Schwab books. So they're like slow in the beginning. Like also like I get through physical books astronomically slowly. Like I'm at a snail's pace when it comes to like physical books because they're not on a timeline. Like I don't have a time limit of like how long I need to read it versus it's an ebook or an audiobook. I have 21 days for my library. 21 days or you're gonna get back on the hold list and you gotta wait 4 months to read it. So like that motivates me to read it. I don't have that same pressure with physical books either, so I am so bad at reading them. Yeah, so Katie DNFs after the first chapter and counts them. You think of ones that was so horrendous. You gotta tell me which book it was that was so horrendous. You can't just tease like that. Violet DNF 4 books in January at 17. Oh, 86. I think if I get past the 50% mark, like I have to finish it at that point. You DNF'd at 86%, but you don't even know what was going to happen. That would hurt me so bad if I couldn't make it through the final 14%. You actually wrote, Katie, it's cheap ass screw top rose. So it's fine. It's fine. You get Taylor Swift soaping out all the time. I literally like it just comes to me as I was finishing these proof edits on Seaside, and like I was like, ooh, there's an opportunity. I'm gonna put it in. And it's kind of like I don't know. It's just fun for me. They don't mean anything, but they're just like, I mean, they kind of relate, but like they're really. I want to use it as like an Easter egg. See if you can find all the Taylor Swift references that I put in my book. But yeah, that's basically why I put them in there is for people to try and find them and have fun with that. Yeah, I know, right? Like, oh no bookmark. It was like false advertising. I'll tell you guys a secret, and that I actually want to like sometime in the future. I don't know when. Sometime in the future, I want to actually make bookmarks and like offer them to you guys. Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't done any research into it, but it might be like through a Redbubble situation, through a Patreon situation. It's clearly not the time right now, but like in the future, Grayson's Bookmark wants to offer Grayson's Bookmark. Does that make sense? You see it? You see the vision? Stay tuned for the next 5 years to see if that happens or not. Neo was going to work on the other story now. That's good. It's good to switch between projects. See, Libby does offer great motivation to get your books done, finished and read. Yes. Okay, so the book you DNF'd was Only a Monster by Vanessa Land. So bad. I have not heard of this one, but I will. Oh, Violet likes it, but you thought about DNFing it a few times while reading. So here's another question: like why? What makes you consider DNFing a book? Is it vibes? Is it plot? Or is it character? But before you type, we need to save this conversation for after the third sprint. So keep that in mind. Like, what specifically makes you DNF a book? And we can get into that after the third sprint because we gotta get back into it. I know Grayson's bookmark. Do you like the Archie? Hold on. There's a joke here. Do you think you're gonna buy Grayson's? Do you think you're gonna buy Grayson's bookmark? Yeah. Um. Oh, okay. Typos in the first chat. Okay. Okay. Save the reasons for like after the next sprint. I will pull up my timer as one does. Um. Remember the end sound for the sprint. It's a bird song. Do not be alarmed when you hear this sound in 35 minutes. Do not be alarmed. We will get back to our DNFing conversation in 35 minutes. I wish you guys the best of luck, lots of writing, productivity, and yeah, let's get it started in 3, 2, 1. Happy writing. All right, third sprint complete. Let me change that banner. How are we after that 35 minutes? Did I startle you with the bird? I was in the flow of writing for a little bit, and then around the 10-minute mark, I was like, meh. But then I got back into it, so that's good. I'm in a good spot again, which means I can write more later. So I'm feeling good about it. Let me know how y'all did during that sprint as I figure out how many words I wrote for that time. I just had to remember where oh yes, I remember where I left off because I told you the last sentence that I left off at. That was good thinking, Grayson. Okay, so the current, what I wrote during that sprint was 626 words, which is wild. How long is this first chapter now? That I need to know. And then we can talk about we can continue our DNF conversation. But the first chapter is currently 2,300 words, and I'm not even done with it. I've also had the thought that these chapters in this Fae project are definitely going to be longer than Seasides. I feel like I'm aiming between the 3,000 and 4,000 word mark for each chapter, which I feel like is fine for the convention. Just ending the chapter where it feels right. I'm giving them more like heft to the chapters. And also there's a lot of world building and explaining you got to do when you're writing fantasy, so I feel like the word count is warranted. Oh, the birds were loud? I'm sorry. Maybe lower your own computer volume, but I did make it only like, it shouldn't be too loud on my end, but I will lower it just a little bit more so it won't alarm you for the final sprint. Katie usually DNFs a book because it's not what you're expecting or wanting. Yeah, I relate to this. I also kind of had the idea that if I DNF'd a book, it means that I made a bad decision when picking the book, and like that reflects on me, and I'm like, well, maybe I just wasn't good enough to finish the book. Like, ain't that toxic? But yeah, Wendy DNFs books without meaning to, just because they don't want their attention and draw me back. That makes perfect sense. Same thing. That's what happened to me with She Who Became the Sun. The reason I would DNF a book, I don't know. I haven't DNF'd that many, so I'll have to think about it a little bit. Lady Neo started working on chapter 14 and head instead. It's perfectly good. 625 words. Nope, 75 words. Very good. Sunday Mystery went to the store and got back and wrote one sentence. That was in 2 prints. I don't know what you mean by this, but feel free to enlighten me. And also, how many words were in your sentence? Nicole posted chapter 7 and 8 of the project work. I'm posting chapter 9. And you spend a lot of time on your phone. That's all right. Sometimes you need it. You need the brain break. I keep saying, that's all right. So I see you're writing, if you're posting the chapters, that means you're writing it on Wattpad. Interesting. I wonder, I should delete my Wattpad. Oh, okay. I understand. Okay, got it. I understand. 1 sentence written and 2 sprints. That makes more sense. It's like if I'm DNFing a book, if a book is not interesting enough within the first 20%, I think I leave it behind. Also, like, does it count as DNFing if I listen to a sample of the audiobook, which is 5 minutes long, and then I don't even check it out? But like I did absorb some content and then I chose not to read it. Does that count as DNFing? Because I've been doing that a lot. It's definitely, I find it very useful to listen to the first 5 minutes of an audiobook recently. Someone is calling me from Mocksville, North Carolina. I'm not going to answer. What was it talking about? Oh, yes, DNFing. I haven't read a book recently that had typos that made me back out, but I definitely think the voice of the author will determine whether or not I can stick with a book. Even if like what it's talking about is kind of like not that interesting, it's really about the voice. That's what it comes down to for me. Great bought tickets to see Moulin Rouge the musical. See, I knew this was a thing, and I know there's been like, I don't know what it's about, and I have seen that one clip of like this very impressive note by the main male lead, and I've seen that. I think he's singing the word love, but I don't really remember the context of it. But I've heard it's a really good musical. So I'm very excited for you. Maybe is it touring off Broadway right now? I wonder if I should check my local theaters to see if it would be there. Um, I I did not know NovelPad is. What is NovelPad? What is what is NovelPad? I was not aware of this platform. But copy pasting on a Wattpad makes sense to have a separate copy. Um, Try a chapter thing for the audiobooks. Yeah. So I mean, they're not like the full chapter either. They're just like probably 3 pages of the book because listening speed is slower than reading speed. Yeah, sometimes I DNF an audiobook because the narrator of the book has narrated too many other books that I've read, or there's this one narrator. You guys have probably not read this book, but it's called The Kingdom of Back by Mary Lou, the same author who wrote Legend. Like that was in a series that had its own moment. Let me just make sure it's by Mary Lou before I start saying that. I think it is. Oh, wait. Yes, it is by Mary Lou or Marie Lou. But anyway, that author is like very distinctive in her voice. And then I tried reading a Cinderella retelling recently, and it was the same narrator, and I just could not separate them. Like the way the narrator read The Kingdom of Back, her voice is very like specifically engaged with what she's reading, and like it's got this like historical vibe, and it just completely like she's not really able to be read in different contexts for me. Same thing with this book called, if you guys have read An Ember in the Ashes on audiobook, that narrator was also in We Hunt the Flame, and it was still very difficult. I managed to read We Hunt the Flame on audiobook, but like that male narrator was very difficult for me to separate in my mind because An Ember in the Ashes is such an iconic audiobook narrator voice. And then now it was in We Hunt the Flame, which are arguably like they're kind of like in the same category of books. And I get it, his voice is good for that kind of character, but like I still associated the characters with each other. Maybe it's because like the way my brain works is like audio imprints in my brain very strongly. And like songs, like I know songs pretty much after the third time I've listened to them, and like the voices, they imprint in my head really easily. So maybe it's just a me problem with this audiobook thing. But also the woman who narrates the Marissa Meyer series, the Lunar Chronicles series, that narrator, she's done so much YA. So it's kind of like funny to see her all across the board. But her voice is neutral enough that I don't have a problem transitioning between like books that she's narrated. Let me see. I think she's. I can definitely tell you this. Like I think her name is Jennifer. This narrator. Let me check that. Oh, it's Rebecca Soler. If maybe that's a familiar name to you guys, but she's narrated like a crap ton of books. Like she narrates Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. She's also done other Marissa Meyer books that are not in that series. Oh, she's done a Star Wars book. Interesting. She's done some Sarah Dessen, she's done Sadie by Courtney Summers. Like this is a very prolific audiobook narrator. So like, but it's a little easier with her voice because she's not as like distinct. Anyway, do you guys have this problem with like audiobook narrators? Let me know. Or like, are you guys audiobook fans? How do you feel about reading audiobooks? I always pretty much like prefer the audiobook because I don't have time to read otherwise. The only way I read is pretty much by audiobooks because I don't have time otherwise. I have lost my StreamYard tab. Okay, I found myself again. Yeah. Okay. And I'm just gonna be silent for a second because I don't have a thought. I don't have a single thought to say. Meanwhile, it is time for us to pick our fourth sprint randomly. If you guys don't know, I have many decks of cards. There's one more. Nope, there's two more. I have many decks of cards. And the way I pick, please don't drop these, Grayson. The way I pick for our fourth sprint is by drawing 4 cards from a card deck. That is how we do it. It will decide a random, this is kind of heavy, I'm gonna drop it. That is how we pick for the number of minutes for our final sprint with a deck of cards. And I've already decided that today we're gonna use the Ghibli deck for the fantasy of it all. Which is at the very bottom, conveniently. I got the Ghibli deck from, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? That's upside down. I got the Ghibli deck from Barnes & Noble, like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. And I realized after the fact that it was only Spirited Away, when I thought it was just like all like Ghibli movies. So I'm on the lookout for an actual, I'm not on the lookout, but like I want a deck of cards, a Ghibli deck of cards that is actually, I don't know, a mixture of like scenes like Princess Mononoke and, oh, you know, stuff like that. It's on my wish list. I collect these cards as like a kind of like a souvenir thing. So if I go places, I will just like get one. Yeah, that's why I have so many decks of cards. But anyway, the art is like beautiful on this deck. It's really nice. Nicole's telling me about Novelpad, which you can create a word count goal and it will adjust the daily goal for how many words you didn't get the previous day. So kind of like NaNoWriMo. I get it. Okay, so what we do for this random sprint is we're going to shuffle these cards, and by we, I mean me. And it's going to like take a second, but I've already used this deck before, so it won't take me that long to shuffle them. It'll just take like maybe like a minute and a half. So yeah, the audiobook I'm currently reading, I already talked about. It's called Love and Other Disasters. We're getting into the thick of it. It's like, oh, there's a blank card. I do not know why there's a blank card. Well, I wonder what I would have said if I accidentally pulled the blank card. I guess it would have been 0. But yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yes, books. How I don't really read physical books. Oh, was that another blank card? Why are there blank cards? Why are there blank cards in this deck? Did you just? How are there not 52? That is confusing to me. Or maybe like they weren't. Oh, that one's nice. Yeah, I don't read physical books because I read them at a snail's pace. And also, like, I feel like after I finish a physical book, I'm like on a book hangover. Like, just the idea of starting another one when it took me so long to finish the last one was just like, it's daunting. It's daunting to start another physical book again. When I'm just listening to books, like, I can listen to easily 2 hours of an audiobook in a day just by, in like my commute and just like being around the house and doing laundry, stuff like that. It just kind of happens. But if I have to read a book, like it's actually like a physically present focus thing I have to do. So yeah, I do like, and also books are like kind of like they're less distracting, but that makes them more boring, physical books, because like a phone is in an ebook is on your phone, but it's also like a phone, so it's got like other things to look at. So you might go to Instagram for a hot second and then like go to YouTube for a little more than a hot second. And yeah, it's just like not as much serotonin, but I'm getting better at that. I'm hopefully getting better at that, at reading my physical TBR. So now it's time to choose. I'm going to cut the deck, and we're going to pick 4 cards for our final sprint of the day. I'm hoping the stream does not go past 3 hours today. So I'm going to pull 4 cards. You're going to see it before I see it. Usually when I do this, I get around like 27 minutes. It's like the average. That might be exactly average. I don't know. But the face cards will also be numbers if they pop up. So let's pull our 4 cards. And if you would be so kind as to do the math for me while I'm pulling, that'd be greatly appreciated. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. 10. This is, I think its name is No Face. I have seen Spirited Away, but it's not very fresh in my mind. So first card is 10. Not looking great for a short sprint. Here's the next one. 6. Let me turn that around. Very nice, another frame from the movie. So it's 10 and 6 so far, 16. Oh, two. I had 2 opinions. 1, beautiful card. 2, oh my god, this is gonna be a long sprint. Sorry, I guess spoilers for the movie, but like, beautiful, stunning, love it. Okay, so a king is 13 minutes. Oh, it's gonna be a long sprint. Be a 2. Can I have a 2? Can I have a 2? No, I cannot have a 2. Okay. That's how you want to play it today. The Jack card is this scene. I do not remember this scene. I saw this movie once when I was 15, and I don't ever want to watch it again because of like just like the pig people. Pig people is like bothers me. Look at all these cards are like sideways, but anyway, I need to show it the numbers, not the scenes, Grayson. Okay, this is how many minutes. That is 6 plus 11. 40 minutes? Are we having a 40 minutes sprint? I think we're having a 40-minute sprint. Let me count again. This makes 17. Plus 13 is 30. 10, 40. It's a 40-minute sprint, y'all. It'll be fine. We can do it. It was No Face. And hello, oh god. Let me pull up my random sprint timer. Hope y'all are ready. Thanks for being here so far, and participating in my antics for the day. It's the longest sprint I've had in a while, but that's okay. It's not that much more than 35 minutes. And we got through that last sprint easy. And besides, Wendy needs some time to write. Anyway, um, so yeah, we're gonna get into it. Thank you guys for being here and being with me on the stream today. I do this pretty much every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm sure I'll have more of like a closing pitch by the time I get to the end of the sprint. But if you happen to pop off during this one, that's totally fine. Thank you guys for being here so far. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Just thank you guys for being here. And I hope you get more productive in this final 40-minute sprint. Um, thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure what the blanks are about. Not sure. The card deck is from Barnes and Noble. It was, I think it was like $12. Okay, we better get started on this last sprint, or else it's gonna be 4:30 before we're out of here. But yeah, let's start our final sprint in 3, 2, 1. Happy writing. Also, hi Jess. Hello. All right, I hope those birds weren't too quiet. But hello, we are back. That was the end of our 4th sprint, our whole 40-minute sprint. Wow, we did it, guys. Let me get where's the right banner? Did I delete nope, I didn't delete it. Okay. Hello, guys. How did you do for that final sprint? I did have to get up a couple times to get some snacks and water, but I was going to say I'm back, but you know that. I'm here. Unfortunately, I didn't read to you my last sentence as I wrote this, so now I have to remember what I wrote and what I didn't write. I think when I checked, it was 2,300 words last time, so let me just calculate from that, and let me know how you guys did. If you want to summarize your total for the day, that would be good, or you can tell me what you did in that sprint. Let me see. I now have 2,964 words, which is like an improvement. I think I wrote another 600 words that sprint, which is really good for me. And I do have, there's going to be like another 1,000 words in this chapter. So it's going to be like it's probably going to be like 4,500 words by the time it's done, so a long, beefy chapter. I'm not used to this, but it feels right, so I'm just going to trust it. Wow, we did it. Lady Neo wrote about a page and a half. Very good. Nicole posted chapters 9 and 10 of that project and got 81 new words in a different project. Very good. I am quite pleased with myself today. And I'm also, congratulations of all the work you guys did today. If you want more sprints, I do these on every Friday now at 1 p.m. Every Friday when I don't have a conflict that I know about. And when it's not on Friday, it will be on the Tuesday of that same week at 1 p.m. And I will let you know if any of that becomes necessary or relevant to change the date. But yeah, thank you guys so much for writing with me and being with me. Wendy's total for today is 1904. It's probably all you're going to get. That's a great total, although maybe you can push for 2,000. But anyway, if you guys are new to my channel, here I make content about my work in progresses. I have a monthly wrap-up video I'm finished editing that will be out soon. It makes sense for me to post it on a Tuesday, but I might post it earlier because it is a January wrap-up video. So we'll see, but it's coming out soon within the next 4 days. And yeah, I post content about my work in progresses and how they're going. I also have a writing Instagram where I post reels about writing and my work in progress. If you were following me on Instagram, you noticed the day that I started Project Faye, which is Wednesday, February 1st. And that was very exciting. But yeah, I think I'm good. I think that's all the promo I want to do. If anyone else wants to say anything, speak now or wait until next stream. I keep saying but you know what? I can just take pauses. I don't need to say all the time. But thank you guys for being here today. There we go. Said again. Well, at least that's different than I now have a lovely outro clip to play for you guys, and I hope to see you some other time. Okay, guys. Bye.